it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video. So today I'm here with my friend Danny.
What's up, guys?
We're about to go diving and we're gonna spend the next 2 days, actually 2 days straight, diving all day, cleaning what we catch, cooking what we catch, and basically living off of how we do in the water. And so we're about to go right now, hit a quick afternoon session, and if we get something good, we're gonna bring it back, clean it up, and then cook it and show you guys how we do all of that. But yeah, that's the plan, and I'll see you guys in the water. Shoots. So first drop here, we shot it immediately out into some deeper water. This is in about 65 feet. The inside was a little bit dirty, so we just kept swimming until we found some pretty clean water, and then just kept going a little bit further until we got out to some deeper water with a little bit of variation in the structure, because most of this area is kind of flat. But I get down to the bottom here, and we had actually seen a nice uku from the surface. Danny had made a drop right before me, and an uku had followed him up for a second, so we saw it. And so I'm going down and I'm looking behind me in the direction that he went, and I catch a glimpse of him there. So I start dusting, grunting a little bit, and he starts making his approach. I start to kind of angle my body off towards him, and I see he's starting to commit, so I put my eyes down a couple times. I don't want to stare at him. And then he starts coming in right here. So I start lining up, turns broadside, and I take that shot. And man, I love the way that ukus run so hard. Right when they get hit, they just take off like a rocket. The fight is kind of over after that. They usually just run one time really hard, and then they're kind of out already. But yeah, beautiful uku to start off. This guy was probably around 5 or 6 pounds. Super stoked, really good size one, perfect eating size. So after that, we moved in a little bit shallower, so as you can see, it's a bit dirtier. And it was even worse than it was in, it was even worse in person than it looks on camera here. The bottom was pretty bad. It was pretty clear on the top, but then you got down to the bottom and the visibility was not great. But I'm looking around here and I see that big uku starting to come in. So I start throwing up some sand, I start grunting a little bit. And he starts to make his approach, and he's coming in head on right now. He's kind of hard to see, and he turns broadside. So I line up and I take my shot, and this thing takes off. In just one single run, he actually almost spooled me, almost took all the line off my reel. So I knew this thing was pretty big, and because of the way he ran, and also I saw him in the water, and I also hit him low. And I saw that as soon as he took off, as soon as I pulled the trigger, I hit him low. So I told Danny while I was fighting this thing that I was gonna need a backup shot, and he goes down here once I get the uku pretty close, lines up, takes his shot, and seals the deal on this really nice size uku. beautiful fish right here. I was so stoked. And man, the way he peeled line out of that reel, my reel was screaming. I love hearing that sound. Like I said, I love the way that Ukus fight so hard right in the beginning. But beautiful Uku. And one of my biggest ever, for sure. Definitely my biggest one from shore by a long shot. With just one final knife to the brain, and that was it. Landed this amazing fish. Got super lucky too. We just were swimming over this flat and I decided to take a drop and he happened to come in. Really lucky. And lucky that he stayed on for as long as he did with that shot. As you can see here, showing my reel, look at how little line is left. And that was with one run. He took one big run and took out all of that line. Super strong fish, these guys. And then after that, we found this nice little structure here and hung around it for a bit. And Danny actually shot this nice moo, and he shot it a little bit low, so I was gonna go down and take a backup shot, but as I got closer, I realized he wasn't really fighting that hard anymore, and there was still quite a bit holding that line in there, so I just got my hands on it, and then my camera actually gave out here for some random reason, but I got my hands in his gills and then braided him. Now this one I started recording a little bit late, but I took a drop in the school of Ta'ape right here, and a nice Uku came in, so I lined up, pulled the trigger, got a nice stone shot. As much as I love seeing and hearing those Ukus run, I think I like the way they drop down to the bottom like a stone a little bit more. But it's a close one, honestly. But another nice size Uku. This one was a little bit bigger than the first one, but close to the same size, maybe like a 7-pounder. But another really nice fish. And 3 Ukus in one day on a shore dive is, I don't think I've ever done that before in my life, especially not ones that are these size. So once again, got really lucky, got really blessed. It was, you know, that just happened to run into these 3 nice Ukus, and luckily they came in and gave me a shot. So 3 really nice fish on this first day of diving here. Super stoked, especially on that big one. But here's the lineup right here. Got Danny's nice size moo, like a 4 or 5 pounder, then the 2 Ukus, and then this one big one right here. Blew my mind the size of this Uku, and was super stoked to have landed it. Alright guys, we're back from the dive. We got some nice fish. Got a couple nice Ukus. Some, like, this one's maybe like 7. This one's like 5. And then we got this one big boy right here. Definitely the biggest one that I've ever got from shore. Really nice size one. So we're gonna get a weight on this guy, and yeah, we'll get that done real fast. But man, really sick dive, really nice Uku, and a couple other nice ones as well. And then we're gonna get this moo right here. We're gonna cut it up and then cook that up real fast. Danny got that one, nice size one, like a 4 or 5 pounder, so perfect eating size. Gonna fillet that guy and have that for dinner tonight. But yeah. Let's get a weight on this Uku right here. Alright, we got the scale all zeroed out. Let's see. Oh, yes, 16, baby. Second biggest Uku ever. and my biggest uku from shore for sure. So stoked on this guy right here. And I probably would have lost him honestly if Danny hadn't put in that backup shot. Got him super low, but got lucky, managed to bring it in. But beyond stoked, super blessed, super grateful. Had to have also gotten those 2 other ones and that beautiful moo on top of this super sick dive. Beyond stoked. Yes sir.
Yes, sir.
How's it, Danny?
So good.
Yes sir. Danny accidentally snapped his fin yesterday while we were getting beat up in the shore break. Trying to get out. Yeah. But
Super flex.
yeah, we're gonna have to figure something out. But that's a no-go today. But anyway, guys, it is day number 2, and so we're gonna go out, try and dive again. I'm probably not gonna target too much native stuff because I did get a bunch of fish yesterday. We got that really nice size uku, the 16-pounder, and then also those 2 other ones. So probably not gonna target too many native fish today. I'm really gonna go after a bunch of toao, because when we were there at the spot, we were seeing a bunch of toao, like big ones too, and there were so many of them. So for those of you guys who don't know, they are invasive, so it's good to take them out. So I'm gonna go, and while Danny here is trying to get his first uku, I'm gonna try and knock down a bunch of these toao, clean the reef a little bit, take them out, and then, you know, if something really good or pretty good comes by, like right up to me, I might take a shot, but again, not focusing on that for sure. Definitely going after invasives. But yeah, we're gonna try and figure out Danny's fin situation, get a replacement for him, and then we're gonna head out, jump in the water. So I'll see you guys there. Shoot. So like I mentioned, just strictly, or for a majority of this dive, strictly going for toals. Toals are one of the 3 invasive species that we have here in Hawaii. And you can see there's also another invasive species that is pretty, you know, there's a lot of them around right now, is the ta'ape. But line up on this toal right here. Going single band because I'm shooting around a lot of structure, and the toals are coming really close. They're not very big either, so don't need both the bands loaded. But yeah, like I mentioned, I got a bunch of nice fish the day before this, and so you know, Danny and I wanted to go diving again, regardless. You know, Danny shot that nice move, but he was also set on shooting his first uku, especially because we had seen a bunch of them the day before. So we both wanted to go dive, but I had quite a bit of fish already, so I decided to focus on shooting toals for this dive. You know, you can still have fun, still hop in the water and shoot some fish without taking more than necessary. And this is a perfect example of this. I was having a blast, you know, shooting toals over and over again. You know, it may not look like much because you're not shooting big fish or trophy fish, but it's still fun. You're taking drops and you're shooting a fish almost every drop, you know. And while you're having fun and diving and shooting at fish, you're also cleaning up your reef, helping to keep your local reef healthy and getting some invasives out of there. So it's kind of like a win-win. And in my mind, this was kind of like my thank you, or like my giving back to this spot after, you know, I was able to get those really nice fish the day before. Got really lucky, so very grateful for what I was able to get from the reef. And so this is kind of like, you know, giving back, helping the reef out because it helped me out, that kind of thing. But yeah, another nice twal, and like I said, a lot of these guys were big, you know. As the water kind of gets deeper, I've noticed, you know, like most other fish, the twals get bigger. And here's Danny with a twal of his own. So we were both kind of just going drop for drop, alternating drops, and just each drop was a twal and bringing it back up, and we were able to load up on quite a few of them. You can see this small little kumu right here, and in the beginning of this dive I saw a bunch of other kumus that were bigger than this one, but you know, not quite big enough to shoot. Otherwise I would have told Danny to go down and try and get one, but there's like 5 or 6 kumus in this one area, which was super cool to see. Like I said, not big ones, but you know, eventually given time they'll grow up, they'll get bigger, and then maybe one day I'll find them again and they'll be good size ones. But Danny, actually, after I shot that twal, a uku came in, and I assume it was from all the commotion we were causing shooting all those twals. An uku came in, I told him, you know, go get him, and he went down, grunted a few times, and it came right up next to him. He was able to take a nice shot and secure his first uku ever. So congrats to him, super sick. I remember how I felt when I shot my first uku. He must be stoked, and I could tell, you know, he was super excited about it, so that was super cool. But back to the twals after that. You know, there's a lot of them, and compared to how many there were in the area, you know, the reality of it is that we didn't make a huge dent, but then again, we're not the only people that are diving here, and you know, I'm sure you guys and others are going out and shooting invasives as well, and so all of that combined, you know, everybody diving, taking a few at a time, it all adds up eventually, you know. And you, in one particular spot, you can start to see a difference if you keep going and keep taking invasives out. But I got this big twal right here. This was one of the biggest ones of the day, sitting in a hole. But as I was, you know, swimming around trying to see if there were more twals elsewhere, I ran into this school of nice size omilus. And so I took a shot at one here, one because he was super close, 2 because there was like 5 of them, as you can see, and 3 because I love omilu. I love shooting omilus. And I also hardly ever see them this size. This guy was probably around 5 pounds, maybe 5 or 6 pounds. I almost always only see them big, like over 10 pounds, or super small, under like 2 pounds or 3 pounds. So I hardly ever see them at this size, and this, in my opinion, is like the perfect eating size for jacks like omilu or ulua, the whites. So I don't see these guys very often this size, and so I figured I'd take a shot at this one because he had a bunch of them. There was a bunch of them with him, so took the shot. But then that was my only native fish of this dive. And back to the twals. Got another, you know, a few of them, as you know, going between these rocks right here. But like I mentioned, it's hard to feel like you're making a dent in one individual dive, but you know, over time you start to see the results. But it's also hard to shoot a bunch of them in one dive because eventually they're gonna start to get spooked, they're gonna start to get scared, they might leave the area, or they might stop coming as close. And that was starting to be the case here. As you can see, they're not even, you can hardly see any of them at all. But one comes in and gives me a shot here. And then on this drop, Danny shot another toal right here, but it got tangled up on the bottom. So I went down and I, brained it really quick and then made it so that it wasn't stuck on the bottom anymore, so that Danny could just grab his gun and pull it up to the surface. And then I started looking around to see if I could still, manage to get a toal off this drop. But you can see it a lot more clearly now. They're not really giving me the time of day as much. They're kind of being wary and staying away. So I started making my way over to this hole where I'm seeing a good amount of them. And a bunch of them got spooked and I tried to line up, but as I looked in the hole, a big one starts coming out right there. So I lined up and I took my shot at that one. This guy right here is one of the biggest toals I've ever seen in my life. I didn't get a good, after shot of it, of me holding it, but that thing was pretty freaking big. Another drop. This uhu comes in pretty close. That was cool to see, but not the target for today. I'm kind of just looking around. I thought I saw an uku off in the distance over there, but it ended up being a pufferfish. As you can see, the visibility is not great. It's actually pretty dirty this day. But yeah, I saw a giant pufferfish out in the distance and I thought it was a big uku and I got really excited for a second. But ended up being just a pufferfish. So I just lined up on another toal here. Got one more off the reef. And one more here. I think this was the last toal I got this dive. Just lined up, pulled the trigger, and if you look real close here by the toal, it's kind of hard to see, but there's a taco and he's trying to grab the toal. And he's sitting in this hole and he was trying to reach his tentacles out, I guess trying to grab it or like fight him off or something, but that was pretty weird. Yeah, these are all the toals that we got. At this point, we had already chummed a couple and then we used the rest for chum as well. So I don't know how many we shot, but however many that is plus 2 is what we got. So a good haul of toals, and plus got that bonus Omilu and Danny's first ever uku. So overall, productive dive. Cleaned up the reef a little bit and got a couple snacks on the side. Here's what we kept from dive number 2. We used all of the toals for chum, but nothing came in for it. But really nice size Omilu right here. Probably like a 5-pounder maybe, something like that. Good size one. And then Danny's first uku. Nice little 2-3 pounder right here. Woo. Yes, sir. Yeah, you. First uku.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. One last look at these beautiful ukus before we get some fillets off of them. Big boy right here. So stoked on this one. So stoked. Good size ones here too. first uku. I'm gonna chef it up right here.
Absolutely buzzing.
Yeah, you.
Delicious.
Alright guys, first uku, first time trying uku sauce.
Yes.
Give it a taste, bro. How's it?
So good. Little dip.
Some egg wash with some water in it to help the egg wash actually bind better to the fish. And then straight into the Mako. And we got our nuggets. So.
But
Alright guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Super fun couple of days just diving and cooking what we caught, eating what we caught right as soon as we got out of the water. Super delicious. And also got really lucky with that big 16 pounder from my biggest from shore by far, my biggest uku from shore. I don't think I've actually ever shot a double-digit uku from shore. There was that one a while ago that I made a short video out of that I shot it and landed it, but then it got taxed on the way back to shore. So that one might have been double digits, but I don't know because I didn't get to weigh it. But this one landed and brought into shore successfully, weighed it. Definitely my biggest from shore by far. Almost my biggest uku. My biggest one was only a couple of pounds bigger than that. So super stoked, got really lucky, especially with that really low shot. But Danny was able to come in clutch there and put in that backup shot, and we were able to secure the fish. So super lucky, super stoked that I was able to get that fish. And then of course bringing it back, cooking it in here. You know, just the best you can get, man. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. If you like this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It really helps me out a lot, and I genuinely do appreciate every single one of you that already has subscribed. And to all of you who are watching this video, thank you all so much. But yeah, that's all I got. I'll see you guys in the next one. Shoot.